Hello, I'm back, and I got someone here. This is Georgia.
Hey.
So, as I said, I'd started this whole YouTube channel for loads of different reasons, but I did it so promptly because of Mental Health Awareness Week. So, as I said before, I thought it was the whole month of May, but it's not.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's literally just from the 14th to the 20th. So hopefully you're seeing this on the 14th. But if you're
in the between.
yeah,
Before
or in
20th,
between,
basically.
because you never know when the edit's gonna be done. But yeah. But what my plan was, what my plan was to have a few conversations to raise awareness about mental health issues. I actually can't see at the moment because that light is making me blind. Is it making you blind?
No, I'm alright.
Oh.
I think maybe I'm just used to being a movie star. But...
Maybe you are just used to camera lights and action. I've got a
Do you wanna
script.
turn it
I've
off?
got a script here. Nah, I've got a script here. It's not really a script. It's a card because I get really hot. I'm just a sweaty girl. I'm just a sweaty girl. But yeah, so I wanted to raise awareness about mental health issues, and that's why lovely Georgia's here.
Yeah. So I would say I'm a mental health advocate. I talk a lot about my own mental health and how society should treat people with mental health not differently, but we should all be treated equally, and the awareness should just flow
and raise. And you know what it is? There's so many mental health conditions. Is that the right word?
Yeah, there are so many, but people don't talk about it. People only really talk about depression or anxiety or OCD, but there's so much more. So there's like personality disorders, there's psychosis, there's just so many.
I think it's easier to talk about anxiety and depression because they're a lot more common. We're going to talk today about borderline personality disorder. So Georgia has borderline personality disorder, and when we first spoke, I didn't actually know what it was. I got it mixed up with multiple personality disorder, and I used myself and my many personalities as an example to show that we have something in common, but I was wrong. But when she explained to me what borderline personality disorder was, it did actually ring a bit familiar with me, and I realized that maybe not just with ADHD, but there's loads of layers to different things. And so because I didn't know anything about it and I was really enlightened and intrigued, I thought it'd be good to talk to you about it. One, because there's probably people that struggle with it and don't seek help, but also I think there might be a few people that are gonna watch this and maybe realize that they could have borderline personality disorder and they didn't know up until now. So how did you know? Like, how did you find out?
So I first was diagnosed with depression and anxiety before borderline personality disorder.
How old were you?
So I first got diagnosed with depression and anxiety when I was 13. So it's really young, actually.
How? What happened? How did you...
I couldn't get out of bed every day. I didn't want to go to school. Academically, I was average. I wasn't being bullied. My friendship group was fine. But I wasn't coping. So yeah, I wasn't getting out of bed, I wasn't eating. When I did eventually get into school, like halfway through the day, I'll just burst into tears and have to come out of class. And I personally didn't know why, I just felt really upset and really sad.
Wow.
And I was just having such a terrible time. So my mum took me to my doctor's, because she didn't really know what to do. And he referred me to a place called CAMS. And
What's
CAMS is Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. And anybody can go there from, I think it's like from the age of, I think 4 now, to age 18. And you can go there for counselling, psychotherapy, CBT, for like medication. They can prescribe you medication. And it's the children's services.
Okay.
And in CAMS, you're very supported. That was my experience. There's lots of different CAMS up and down the country in the UK.
So it's a service available everywhere?
Yeah, on the NHS. And that you have to be referred by your GP. And yeah, I had about 2 assessments with CAMS, and then they diagnosed me with depression and anxiety. Which was scary because I didn't really know what that was. I thought it was something that adults get, and I didn't really understand what depression was. I didn't know what a psychiatrist was. I didn't know what psychotherapy was. It all just sounds like, oh, you're psycho, you're mad, you're crazy. And
I did. Whenever I heard about, psychologists, I thought of psychopathic murderers. That's the only thing I thought.
And it's so bad that we think that because we don't learn it in school. I personally didn't. When I was at school, I didn't learn it. I think in PSHE we should all be taught about our emotions and about the support out there, because a lot of us, I think, face anxiety at some point in our life.
And we either absorb it and think that everything is crumbling, or we get embarrassed and think that we've lost the plot. So you were diagnosed with depression and anxiety. So how did borderline personality disorder? What is it?
Cool. So I had depression, anxiety, whatever.
I'm finding it. By the way, this is my first video with someone. I don't know whether to look at you or I look at you there.
I'm looking at both.
Just go.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I was discharged from CAMS when I was 18, which is really scary because you're out in the real world and the adult services world, where there's a waiting list up to like 10, 11 months. And if you're...
For anything or for...
mental health services,
yeah,
and that was in my particular borough. So could I go from weekly psychotherapy sessions where I could talk about my emotions to hardly anything and just waiting around and feeling depressed. So I finally got an appointment with the adult services, and I was saying to them, I don't think I'm depressed anymore. I just feel really intense emotions sometimes. I'm very impulsive, I'll just do things and I won't think about it.
But this sounds like ADHD.
Yeah,
these things
maybe I'll have it.
You found out after your anxiety and depression not wore off but calmed down. So
because I thought, I'm coping with life, I can get out of bed, I can go to university, I can go to get a job. But there are some times where I just feel really, really suicidal and I can't cope. And in those moments, it's really, really hard. But that can't be depression, because depression for me was not getting out of bed every day. Or I'd feel really, really high and hyper and life the best. And then I would come down like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So a lot of people get borderline personality disorder confused with bipolar. I was actually just thinking that. And I can only speak from borderline personality disorder because it happens very quickly. Rather than what I understand bipolar is for a number of days you're in a high and then a number of days you're low. But for me it's very up and down. So talking to you now, in 2 minutes time, I could just go really quiet
that quick.
I want to go home. I can't do this anymore.
And
it's really hard because I don't understand, but something triggers it, and through therapy I'm working towards what that trigger is.
So would you say borderline personality disorder is, I'm asking, by the way, we haven't discussed this before this video, so all I asked you before was, what is that? Because I thought it meant multiple personalities, so I thought I might meet Georgia one day and then George another, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so all I know is that you can feel almost really sad or almost really happy.
I'm always on the borderline of happy and sad, and it is scary because I don't know how I'm going to be from one day to the next. And there are some days where it's really, really tough, and I feel like everyone's just going to abandon me and everyone's going to leave me, and
because you weren't in the right mood that day.
Or even if I'm in a good mood, and I'll just wake up from a really good sleep and I'll be like, oh my gosh, does this person like me? I need to check, I need to call them, I need to text, are they still here for me? And then I test people as well, push them away. So if I'm having a really bad moment, I'll call them up and I'll be like, I feel this and that, and I'll see, can they cope? Can they handle me? And with that, I'm kind of pushing people away. So it's really, really tough because I'm just understanding it myself through having it, but there's no guidebook. Once again, we weren't taught about this in school. I just think everyone should have mental health education.
So just out of curiosity, just for people that are watching this and we're raising awareness about this in particular. So I feel, and I've been diagnosed with severe adult ADHD, and there is ADD, which is the attention deficit, but ADHD is hyperactive and attention deficit. Just for people wondering, because I do post a lot of posts about ADD, because I have both. But everything you've said, I struggle with. So I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, is this are these symptoms similar to ADHD? Because a symptom of ADHD is depression. A symptom of ADHD is anxiety. And also moods, different moods. And there are times where I don't know if so I could be really happy in like the best mood, and then out of nowhere it goes, and I genuinely feel like I have natural come downs. Like I get so happy and high that there has to be a come down with it, which obviously isn't true, but it sounds like, and then I just think, oh, that must be something to do with my ADHD. So if there's someone, for instance, watching this who might, or who has read one of my blogs and has thought they have ADHD, but identify with everything you're saying the way that I do, what's different, and what would make a doctor say, no, it's borderline personality disorder? Like, it's not ADHD, it's not bipolar, it's borderline personality disorder. I know that for sure. What would make a doctor so sure?
Well, I'm not sure because I'm not a psychotherapist.
So there's nothing that stood out?
No, because when I had my assessment, I think it was just my impulsiveness. So I will do things, because I don't think it's ADHD or ADD, because I can focus on things.
Okay, yeah.
But when I'm in like really low mood, or sometimes I just can't focus, I get like pins and needles in my hands and feet. Like when I know like I'm having like a episode, I'll call it, I get pins and needles in my hands and feet. I feel really dizzy. I feel like I'm gonna faint, and then I feel suicidal. Like I want to end my life, and it can get
in that quick,
in that moment. And my episodes can last anywhere between 10 minutes to the longest has been 2 hours.
Okay, so I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. It's very instant and short term.
And it's very intense. So I can really see myself ending my life. It's really graphic, and it's horrible. So in those moments, I will try and distract myself, or I'll cry it out, or I'll call like Samaritans or the crisis lines, or if it's really bad, I'll go to A&E and I'll be like, look, I need some help.
Wow.
So yeah, it can get really bad, and those are the scariest times for me, because I feel most alone, because I don't want to call up my friends, because I don't want to put them in like an awkward position. So it is hard. I do feel alone because not many people know about it, and I don't really know a lot about it myself. But what I know is just that I'm very impulsive. I'm scared of people leaving me or just not being my friend. I'm scared of things that aren't going to happen, or things in the future. So
anxiety.
I'm worried I'm never ever going to have children. Like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? Or, oh no, like I should just die. Like I'll hear voices. Not like, I don't know, I hear like one voice, which is just like, sometimes if I feel suicidal, it's really, really loud. And it's like, how do I switch that off? It's just, it's difficult. But I feel like through having borderline personality disorder, I'm so in touch with the different emotions I feel.
Okay.
Not just happy or sad, but enthusiastic, excited, like sad, depressed. Like I know there's so many different emotions out there.
Can you go a long time without having the ups and downs?
Yeah, my episode. So so like, for instance, this week I would say I've had one, and that wasn't a major one. It kind of lasted 45 minutes.
For the whole week?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Which is amazing, because there were times where I was having it every day.
Yeah.
But I now have therapy once a week, which brings up a lot. And also as part of BPD, a lot of the behaviours also like self-sabotaging.
A lot of the what is?
Behaviours.
Behaviours.
Is like self-sabotaging, so self-harming. I don't self-harm, but I'll do stuff that I know isn't good for me.
Yeah.
So like drinking too much or binge eating. And I know that's bad for me, but in that moment, I feel like that will fill the hole. That will fill the gap. So that's another kind of sign or symptom.
What do you do to manage it?
So I have a crisis plan.
That you made?
No, me and my therapist made together. And then it's...
Got a cold.
Oh, yeah.
Just know that I didn't cancel despite having a cold.
Yeah. It's got like this circle of emotions. So do I feel overwhelmed? Do I feel like depressed? Do I feel... And then from that, I'm like, okay, what are the thoughts I think when I have it? And it's like, people are going to leave me, this. And then it's got like some coping strategies. So call my mum, for instance, she's lovely and understanding, or go for a walk, or like listen to a podcast, or listen. So a lot of self-care strategies, which I'm big on, and they really do help. And also smelling senses really bring me back to the present. So in my bag, I have this little lavender pot. So I'll smell that, and it will like shock me back into, oh, I'm here, I'm in the moment.
Wow.
Or like I'll like hit my body until it hurts, and I'm like, oh, I'm in my body. Like,
so it's almost like numb. So
because I feel numb. I need to wake myself up. Or I've got these like disgusting, like strong cough sweets in my bag. You might want one. because you're ill. Yeah.
I might want one.
But yeah, they're not for, because I got a cough. I put them in and I'm just like, oh, this is disgusting, because I'll focus on the taste.
Okay.
So yeah, senses really do help, and that's for my crisis plan, because when I'm in that moment, I'm like, nothing can help me, and then I look at it and I'm like, senses, that can help.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, each episode is different, each day is different. Yeah, it's different for everyone.
The fact that you haven't had like, only talking from my own experience, because I felt like before, I think when you know you've got, when you know what your mental health issue is, you know how to look after yourself, don't you? So I was going to say, it's, I keep feeling like I'm talking to you and you've just found out, but you haven't. I keep thinking, wow, a whole week's good for only 45 minutes. When I used to have raging, like, ADHD days when I was like, but now, because I know I've got ADHD, I know when it's coming, I know when it's creeping in, and like you with your crisis plan, I've got my little things that I know, you know, how to calm myself down and manage it. Yeah.
So I found out in January last year.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, so I found out then.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, that is strange. And I was like, I remember my mum was like, they think I've got this thing called like borderline personality disorder. It's also got another name, emotionally unstable personality disorder, which I was like, they think I'm emotionally unstable. Like, what do they think I am? Like, and they gave me this massive report they wrote, and I was like, oh, like, I don't have this. And I researched into it, and I was like, that is me. Like, I relate to so much of that. Like, how have I been thinking these last few months that I've had depression when really it's something else? And
where did you find out all your information? Just for people that are resonating with what you're saying.
NHS website and
Is that
Mind
where you
Charity.
got all yours
Yeah.
from?
So I just typed in borderline personality disorder and NHS, their kind of bog standard thing came up. But if anyone like is struggling with their emotions, I would say go to your GP at first and just be honest with them. And it is scary, so maybe take a friend or a family member, or even when you have an assessment, take someone. I didn't take someone with me just because I've had so many assessments in my life. I kind of just know what to expect.
It's like, no, I'll deal with this one on my time.
So yeah, I'll just go. And I went to the hospital and I had an assessment, and they'll ask you loads of questions, and yeah, it's just a lot of reflection on yourself. But now I've got borderline personality disorder, I don't feel that controls me. Like, I control it.
You see, Georgia,
what are you gonna say?
She has her own Instagram page, which is Self-Care Queen. Yeah, Self-Care Queen. She holds events. Yeah. Self-care events. Are they called self-care events?
I do self-care workshops where everybody makes a self-care jar. And in the jar they put like little self-care tips. So it might be eat some chocolate. I love that. And then they put it on a little piece of card. They fold it up and they put it in the jar. Or it might be go for a walk. They fold it up, put it in the jar. And whenever you feel like down, low, or anxious, or just bored, you'll take something out.
Take something out of the jar.
So in the workshops we make the jars. I talk about self-care. People connect with each other.
Is it an organisation? Well,
yeah. So I run like
She's got another Instagram page
called World of Self-Care, and that's kind of where I do my workshops through. So I do the workshops, but it's through World of Self-Care. And one day I really, really want to host a self-care festival.
She will. Just watch this space. She will. Before 2020, innit?
Yeah. Wait, is 2020 next year?
Just say yes.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So hopefully.
But wait, this bit, it won't go on camera, but I actually think I might actually get tested for ADHD. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, do it. Because everything you said, I'm like, me?
No, because in class now, it's happening more and more. Like,
remember, I got diagnosed 30.
Like, I can't focus in class. No, it's like, I walked out like 3 times last week, and the teacher's like, where are you going? I'll be like, I just feel really overwhelmed.
I don't. I say toilet.
Yes, you know.
And I do go to toilet and chill out.
Every 20 minutes, I'm like, I need to take a break. And they're like...
20 minutes, you have lots of focus.
And now I'm like...
20 minutes. I'd be in a 20-minute meeting and walk out 8 times.
Literally, I am focused though.
People
I do
say,
focus.
so hyper-focus when you are interested. I can hyper-focus. I could sit down doing the same thing for 20 hours. Put me somewhere where I'm not that interested, but have to be there. Can't focus. Do you know what I mean?
I might book an appointment on Monday.
Yeah, I could literally write a book from front to back on certain days. Other days, I can't even write a shopping list. What advice would you give to someone who has resonated with what you've said, feel like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me, what would you say their next step is? Just easy and yeah.
Your next step is kind of like monitor your moods for like that week. See, like,
with this in mind, you'll look at yourself different and your
like
behaviours.
see how your emotions are, see how you are with your friends. Because I personally find relationships, any relationship, like friendships, whatever, really, really hard. Book an appointment at your GP and just be really honest with the doctor. Can I be referred for an assessment?
And they can just say, look, I've heard about borderline personality disorder, and I think I might have it. Just be bold.
Yeah, and you got to be bold.
Don't just like. I don't think a good idea is to go into the doctor, explain how you feel, and let them decide. Because they tried. Yeah. When I told a doctor that I knew I had ADHD because a private doctor had told me, and then several friends had told me, and then all the research in the world had told me. They were like, women don't get it. I was like, do you want to see how good I am at karate right now? I could do karate on you right now. Because obviously women can get it, but that's why a lot of women go, get ignored.
But you just got to keep on pushing. Like, if you need that extra support, emotional support, if you've been referred and it's going to take ages, call Samaritans. Samaritans are really helpful. Talk to your friends. Reach out to other people as well. That really helps.
To that end.
I
think I'm going to use this
to that end
all the time. Hopefully you've seen, Georgia's different Instagram pages flash up on the screen. But if you haven't, that means I didn't figure it out yet, and it's below. So you'll see it there.
In the link below.
But she's called Self-Care Queen or World of Self-Care.
Or Georgia Dodsworth.
You got 3?
That's my... No, my name.
Oh. Or Georgia Dodsworth. I was going to say you got 3 pages.
No, my name is called Georgia Dodsworth.
Okay, is it on Self-Care Queen?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I don't know how to end this.
Thank you all for watching. As we said at the start of this video, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. So I just hope you talk to people about how you're feeling. Maybe ask people, how's your mental health? Or like, how are your emotions today? Or
how's your brain?
Yeah, how's your brain? Love up your brain.
Love up your brain. Hashtag.
Literally, because our brains are so important. Mental Health Awareness Week. Look on Mind Charity website. Look on Time to Change. Look on NHS. Look at loads of hashtags and speak about mental health. There shouldn't be stigma around it.
No, there isn't.
So this is the week to raise awareness and raise the bar. So,
and also, just to add to this, just because we've spoken about things that are struggly, also look up the good sides. Sorry, my hands they're so distracting. I have to hide them. By the way, you probably do have ADHD because you always cut me off.
You cut me off.
Yeah, but I could cut that off. Me cutting you off. Okay, do the
about me cutting you.
Okay, do it. I feel really cool sitting like this. Do I look really cool?
Oh, you do. You actually.
I feel like saying, "Hey, that's how it goes."
That was how I was focusing because I got ADHD. So just ask your friends how's your brain today? How are your emotions? Look up Mind Charity website. Read your amazing blog posts. I've only read some. I haven't read all of them, unfortunately.
Disgrace. No, I'm joking. They are so long. But what I'm going to do, if I haven't done it already, because who knows, I could do it tonight and get it up tomorrow. Unlikely, but I'm going to actually explain what I'm talking about in my blog post on video. But yeah, thank you. And if you have any questions about this, you can contact. Yeah, you can write them below.
Or if they're more like private, you want some advice.
Yeah, you can contact us on Instagram. Does YouTube have inbox?
Slide into my DMs.
Does YouTube have DMs?
No, I don't think so. No. I don't know. Happy Mental Health Awareness Week.
Look after and love up your brain. I had my sweatpants.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.